My name is Jennifer Pittman, and for my behaviorist biography, the person I chose was Montrose Wolf. I'm not really sure what all I'm supposed to be including in this video, but I will do my best to, I guess, basically give you a summary of my paper. So the contribution that Montrose Wolf is best known for is the timeout and for the token economy system. So the timeout has been a controversial punishment that has, I guess, more so been brought to light, where people have had different opinions about whether it should be used or whether it should not be used. The timeout is used as a form of punishment. There are four kinds of timeouts that were discussed in the chapters with the behavior analysis for lasting change text that we have been using in class. So the inclusion timeout is used where the child is still in the classroom, but they have been removed from the activity or the reinforcement. But they can see what's going on, but they're not able to participate or verbally or be a part of the activity. So they're moved to a separate location within the classroom still. So that's the first one, and that's the least restrictive. That's more so what more teachers are actually using now when they're dealing with behaviors that are not so extreme, but they're able to still they're still able to handle the behavior within the classroom and not spend too much time on the behavior where they're losing instructional time while they're teaching, or but that's basically in the school setting. Another timeout is called the exclusion. That's when the child is taken out of the actual classroom or out of the actual location, away from the reinforcement, and they're moved to a separate location for a specific amount of time. Once that time has expired, then they can re-enter the classroom or the location where the learning or whatever the activity was that was taking place. Seclusion is when you are taken out of the classroom into a separate location. The door is closed and are locked. You're not able to get out, and you're in there for a designated amount of time, or until the child calms down, or until the child is done with being in crisis. So with the exclusion, the door is not necessarily doesn't really have to be closed. It's not locked. It is open where the child, when they are done or when the time has expired, they're able to leave. Seclusion, the door is closed and are locked, and the child is not able to come out until they completely calm down, or until they are done being in the crisis mode, or until the time has expired and then they are brought out. So a restraint timeout is when a child is removed from the location or the classroom or whatever the setting is for the activity, and they are in a restraint or a hold. The restraint can be a therapeutic hold, where of course people are trained to make sure that the holds are not in a way where the child can be harmed or get hurt, but they are in a restraint or a hold to where they're not able to harm themselves or others that are around them. That could be of some kind of hold where their hands are kind of maybe put together to where they can't kind of flail their hands or hit or swing. In some situations, the feet might need to be restrained as well, and or the legs, so that they're not able to kick and things of that nature where other people can get hurt. So those are the four timeouts that are actually used. And in the token economy system that Montrose Wolf did introduce, and it is used widely in the classroom setting and facilities, in the home setting when kids are getting treatment plans. So what it is that when the child is displaying a specific behavior or the desired behavior, then they are reinforced with the token economy. And what that token could be is that could be some sort of check where they're checking off a checklist when they have completed tasks, or they are physically given a token and then they have to collect a certain amount at the end of a specific duration time, or collect a certain amount of tokens maybe by the end of the session in order to get a desired or preferred item. Now, of course, you want to make sure that the reinforcement that you're using is a highly desired item, because the child will work harder for a desired item as opposed to an item that they don't really care for or like. So these two techniques that Montrose Wolf has come up with, or that he's widely known for, they are used across all content areas as of right now. They are used in the home setting. They can be used in facilities. They can be used in the school setting as well. But when it comes to the timeout, of course, the inclusion is more often used when you're talking about the home setting, unless the behavior warrants a different kind of more restrictive timeout. So in our papers, I know we were also supposed to talk about interview questions if we were able to interview our specific behaviorists. And one of the main questions that I would have for Montrose Wolf would be, being that the timeout technique is so controversial, and some of the reasons might be it being overused is one, and then two is it being abused, where people are not trained appropriately or properly, and they're trying to put kids in these specific timeouts, not knowing what they entail and what's all included, and the reasons why and what is warranted for a specific timeout. But knowing the controversy behind it in this day and age, would he still promote the timeout as a method or a technique to use for punishment when a child is displaying a specific undesired behavior? Or would he make any kind of modifications to the timeout that would make it more acceptable and less controversial? So with a lot of things that are going on in this day and age, a lot of the times some things are controversial because people don't technically understand them, or they've seen it done and it's not done properly. And that's where some of the controversy may come from as well. So the two things that I saw across the board in all the articles that I selected was the token economy system, which was used as a reinforcement to reinforce desired behavior. So specifically I know one of the articles, it was used for to get a child to specifically wear glasses that had heavily impaired vision issues. Another one was to promote to increase academic success. So they were kids that had they were participants that participated in a study where they were either school dropouts, or they were struggling and they had deficits in a specific academic area, and a token economy system was brought into place to help promote the increase in those specific academic deficit areas. That's what I saw across the board, was a token economy system that was used in most all of the articles. And only one article per se was the timeout actually used, and that was to reduce and decrease undesired behaviors, which were tantrums, self-injury, where the child was not only a harm to themselves but others around them. So this is the basis of my summary for my video draft. So thank you for listening, and that is all.